Okay, last day, what we have finished is our second lesson. So today we need to start our new lesson, which is programming. And so this will be one of the most interesting lessons for you because you have already learned programming in grade 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we are going to learn, right? In previous three grades, you have learned that, and this will be an improvement. But before we begin, right, before we start, I think we need to, right, before we start, we need to remember the things, right? We need to remember the things that we have learned previously, right? Before we start, I think we need to remember them. And uh, therefore, I would like to, go through the previous stuff back, which is basically the basics of programming, and I will use this note to remind you that basics of programming. So please write down the heading in your book, programming. Write down the heading in your book, programming. And just want to ask, can you remember that we have learned a lot now? We have learned in different lessons. Can you just remember what we have discussed? Can you just remember what we have discussed in previous grades related to programming? We have discussed about free control structures. We have free control structures, and have we learned? Can you remember about them? So there are free control structures. One is selection, not this. So just tell me all three. Just tell me all three.
Sequence, selection, repetition.
Sequence, selection, and repetition. Okay, sequence, selection, and repetition. Okay, these are the three things that we have learned. Okay, then what sequence do? So can you remember how sequence work? What sequence does?
Sequence decides which step is carried out, whether the condition is satisfied or not.
Conditions are not there in the sequence. Neither.
Sequence is sequence from beginning to end. If consecutive order is going in the flowchart, it's sequence.
Yeah. If there is a consecutive order, if there is a order, right, like one after another, like if things happening, if statements are written in an order, one after another, then so that is called sequence. Right? Things are happening one after another. Selection is where you said selection is where you have condition, like you are in a junction. You can, in a junction, you have to decide whether to turn right or left, right? You have to decide whether to turn right or left in a junction. So that way you can just, right, in that you can decide either to turn right or left. That you need to decide. But you cannot turn both directions same time. The same times you cannot turn both sides. Right. Same time, turn in left, turn in right. Same time is not possible. But you can do like this. You can turn one direction one time. One direction one time, another direction another time. Likewise, you can. So then you have to decide. Based on the condition, you have to decide. So that is called selection. And the repetition is where you need to do the same set of, you need to implement the same set of instructions again and again, right? You need to implement same set of instruction again and again. Right, that is where the repetition is there. Repetition is You can repeat, like sometimes there are repetitions like never ending repetitions, always repeat, like in our life also there are some never ending means it will end but it's infinite, no? So every day will begin with the sunrise, so that is never ending, every day that happens, right? So some kind of thing. Likewise, there are infinite repetitions. There are finite repetitions too. Few days, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. Likewise, maybe 3 times, 4 times, 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times. So that is it. And in this interfaces also, you can see them. So here, what is this? Home, insert, draw, design. What is this? I'm clicking on the menu item. Is it sequence or selection or repetition? When I click on this menu item, is it sequence or selection or repetition? Yes. When I click on these menu items, then my menu items on click කරනකොට ඒක වෙන්නේ sequence ද selection ද අනුපිළිවෙලද නැත්නම් වර්ණය තේරීමක් ඇතුවද selection ද repetition ද? Rehansa, yes. Selection, exactly. එතන මම මේ ගොඩාක් menu item තියෙනවා මම එකක් select කරගන්නවා. ගොඩක් menu item තියෙනවා එකෙන් එකයි select කරගන්න මේ. මට ඔක්කොම select කරන්න දෙකක් select කරන්නත් බෑ. එක වෙලාවට draw නම් draw, insert නම් insert, layout නම් layout, home නම් home. One time I can select only one. That is selection. එතකොට මේ පල්ලෙහාට එනකොට තියෙන්නේ මේ විදිහට මේ menu එකක් select කරා මේ පල්ලෙහාට මේ තියෙන sequence order එකක් තියෙනවා පිළිවෙලට තියෙන sequence. ඒ මැද්දේ selection උත් තියෙනවා මේ. selection. Sequence, selection, repetition කියලා කියන්නේ මේවා නැවත නැවත කොහොමත් වෙනවනේ. All these things are happening one and again. That is called repetition. First of all, let's write down the heading programming and let's remind the things that we have learned in the previous grade, right? කලින් grade එකේ ඉගෙන ගත්තේවා ටක් ගාලා within few minutes we can remind them. So let's start with that, right? Okay. So before we begin, can we start with this? Yeah, I'm going to start with this. Okay, please write down flowchart symbols. So this is where we are going to decide flowchart symbols. Okay, flowchart symbols. Why flowcharts are used? Flowcharts are used in design, in program design phase. Flowcharts are used in program design phase. Flowcharts are used in program design phase to plan the code. It is simple to understand and less ambiguous than natural language. පැටලිලි සහගත නෑ ලේසි කෙනෙකුට තේරුම් ගන්න මේකෙන් වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද කියලා. That is the flowchart. Just draw the symbols also. Flowchart, then draw the symbols, then write down this. Then write down control structures. Those are the main data flows that we can observe in programming. After writing this, you can write down this. Control structures, which are the main data flows, main data flow patterns we can observe in programming. Right. Sequence, selection, and repetition. First of all, please draw this. sequence. Okay. Please write down this as the example. Example is basically, don't write this question. Basically, you have to write, draw a flow chart and write pseudocode. Do not write this part, right? This part, do not write. Strike through this, cutting down this. Draw a flow chart, write pseudocode to print, to input 3 numbers and add those numbers, find the total and average at the end. So please write down the question and also draw the flow chart. Pseudocode is fake code. Fake code means like not working, but you can just write this in English. It's like this. Okay, begin. Begin. You can say input N1, N2, N3, then total equal N1 plus N2 plus N3. Likewise, you can write this in general English, in structured English. Okay, finish. So let's move to the next. Make them English India. And before moving to the next, we can convert this to stretch. Stretch matakai name. Stretch programming. This is the one. I'll take a new file. This is the link. Link first of all, okay, look at this. First of all, take this event. When flag click, from the sense in, you have to say ask, enter number 1. Enter number 1. Numbers tunak ahanna onane. Enter number 1. And I'm going to save that in a variable. Variable is a memory location. Variable එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ memory location එකක්. Go to the variable. There I create N1, N2. These are memory locations. Make a variable N3. Make a variable total. Make a variable average. Use the short names. Then you can set the N1. Set the N1. set n1 to the answer. Then make a copy paste 3 times. 2 times, now 3 times. Okay, and number 1, number 2, number 3. N1, N2, N3. N1, N2, N3. Then total. Set total. Set total to N1 plus N2 plus N3. Add karana N1 addition तीन operations N2 N3. Set average. Divide karana can divide the total by 3. Then display the total and average. Say operations join. You can say total is total duplicate average is the average. Done. Okay, that's it. So let's check the answer now. Enter number 1. Enter number 1. 45. Enter number 2. 78. Enter number 3. Kamathika 67. So total is 190. Average is 63.3. Okay. Anyone needs support? Please share the screen. Right? Anyone needs support? Please tell me and share the screen. Okay. Now I have enabled the participation screen sharing. If you want, you can do. Oh. Okay. Right. Next is selection. In selection, the instruction flow is based on a condition. Here you have, like, see the example. There are 2 numbers. You are checking whether number 1 is greater than number 2. From the given 2 numbers, it's checking by comparing these numbers. If number 1 is bigger, then it prints the number 1. Here, if this is years, it prints the number 1. But only number 1, because no way of printing number 2. If number 1 is bigger, this side will be chosen. And it will go there and then stop. This is the path. If this side is chosen, this is the path. Then it will never touch this side. But if it is not the case, it will move to the other side. If N2 is bigger, it move to the other side. And it will move through this path. And that will never touch the other side. It is like turning right and left. One time you can select only one direction, one side only. So that is what you can see in this selection. So please write down the example, write down the note, example 2, note and example 2. So here these 2 questions, you can do that as homework, right? I'm not going to discuss it now. Enter 3 numbers and find the minimum, and enter the number of the number and display whether the number is odd or even. That you can do as a homework. I'll check next day, but not today. So but write down all 3 questions and draw this flow chart. Right, let's convert this now. So there are 2 numbers. I'm going to remove the 3rd number and the remaining part from here. No need to display the total and the average and the 3rd number. Only 2 numbers are there. And I'm going to compare this with if and else. and my condition followed by an operation. I have to check whether this is this N1 and N2. I have to check whether N1 greater than N2. If yes, I have to display on the loops from the operation, just generate a meaningful message. Maximum is, and it can be N1. Let's take a duplicate. Maximum can even be N2 if N1 is not the maximum. Here, N1 is the maximum if N1 is greater than N2. If not, N2 is the maximum. Let's check. First number, second number, we say maximum is this. Let's try again. First number, second number, maximum is this. This is what the conversion is. That is easy. Okay, I think you can easily do that. Let's move to the repetition part, which is the third part of this repetition. Okay, please write down this for the repetition example. Repetition is where you need to repeat the same set of instructions again and again. Here, see, it is printing even numbers from 2 to 10. This one is printing even numbers. Iratte sankhya. Deka sita 10 tek. Even numbers from 2 to 10. So it start, there's a variable C. C start with 2. There is a difference. Selection and repetition. Selection, it is done. So it has right side, left side, but selected, it is gone. But here it is not. Both side or one side, here it will allow to move down, and then you can go up and again move down. So this forms a cycle. This forms a cycle. The arrows forms a cycle. That is the repetition. So C starting with 2. 2 less than 10. Print 2, display 2, then adding 2 to that. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 less than 10, display 4, add 2, 6. 6 less than 2, display 6, add 2, 8. 8 less than 2, 8 less than 10, display 8, add 2, 10. 10 is not less than 2, but it is equal. Here, check in both conditions, less than, equal, both. 10 is not less than, but equal to. Then display 10, add 2, now 12. 12 is less than or equal to 10, no. It is not, so it will go the other side and stop. Here it will follow both sides. This side and this side both will be followed, but different occasions. So if this side follows, it repeats. If this side follows, it ends. So this is what the repetition is. Please draw this, write down and draw the example and show. Also try to convert this to stretch code. I will give you 3 minutes. Okay, with the repetition, I think we have reminded everything that you have learned. You need to write this pseudocode also, but don't need to write today. So let's explain that next day. Let's go and do the coding part to the same problem. C equal to C less than 2 and display C, C plus 2. Okay, I'll remove everything. And now I'm going to add a new variable, which is C. Initially C, I'm going to set C to 2, C equal to. Then my condition is until C equal to, or C equal to, let's say equal to 10. Until C equal to 10, what you need to do, display C, say C, variable C, display C, then change C by 2. Change C by 2. It will display 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You can see it's displaying. Oh, what has happened? I have not checked this name, the C equal. Okay, let's print in 2, 4, 6, 8. 10 is not displayed because, this should repeat when it is 10, it ends. So you can say maybe the next number, 12, right? Then it's going up to 12, but print in like showing 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. But this will be terminated when 12, but display up to 10. Or you can say C greater than maybe C